Both opponents going down. We're the only ones left. Fantastic. Gotta handle this by ourselves. Ugh. Yeah, apparently this commander can spiral pretty quickly. Today on Commander Replay, we play a commander that I've wanted to play for like 10 years. Korlash Heir to Blackblade. How many swamps can we get into play? Find out next on Commander Replay. Help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange. Welcome back, everyone. Playing a commander that I've wanted to play for a really long time. That is Korlash Heir to Blackblade. Oh, this hand, though. If it had like one more land, probably be fine with it, but it's got a lot of cards I want to use, too. It's got Mask of Grizzlebrand, it's got Vorpal Sword. We're going to mulligan that into lands and card draw. Perfect. We'll go ahead and keep. So yeah, this is one that I've been wanting to build for the better part of a decade when I got into Commander and just never got around to it. So here we are today, playing some Korlash Heir to Blackblade, aka Voltron, but with swamps. Lands for opponents, that brings it to our turn one. There's a War Room, that could be helpful if we get stuck. Play the swamp, play the Vorpal Sword, and we'll pass like that. There is some chance I might be a little bit high on non-basics in this deck, because this deck really does care about having a lot of swamps in the deck, and I do love my utility lands, but there is some kind of cost to that. Eventually we'll want to find Urborg. No fast mana from opponents yet, which makes me super happy. I love games where no one has fast mana right at the start. Means that no one's running away with the game on turn 2. Brings it back to our turn. There's another swamp. Yeah, we'll just keep playing swamps until we feel like we need something else, but nothing to do on 2 for us, so we'll just pass. So taking a look at our commander, it's Korlash Heir to Blackblade. 4 mana for a star. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you control. You can pay 1 and a black to regenerate it, and it has the Grandeur ability, which you can discard another card named Korlash to go get 2 swamps and put them onto the battlefield, but we have no way to actually activate that in Commander. So, not going to worry about that. It basically just gets really big and regenerates and wants you to play a lot of swamps. So, that's what we're going to try to do today, and I'm pretty excited about it. Brings it back to our turn. There's some Lightning Greaves. Greaves are cool. Play a swamp. We do have to be careful with the Greaves, though. Because if we equip the Greaves, there are not a lot of creatures in this deck. It's like 13 or something like that. So, it'll actually be pretty tough to get the Greaves off of our commander. We'll play them anyway, but I'm not necessarily just going to cast Korlash and equip them next turn. We might take the long way on this one. Get a few extra lands in first. Maybe play Erebos next turn, draw a few cards. Because I really want to get this Hearth and Home going. And we'll need something to move the boots to if we want to go that way, so. A lot of nothing happening from 2 opponents over here. The Runo Stromkirk opponent did get themselves a Burnished Heart. That's a pretty good place to start. A card that's definitely in our deck because there aren't a ton of ways to put extra lands into play with Mono Black. Burnished Heart is one of them. It plays a Basalt Monolith. Uses the Basalt Monolith to crack the Burnished Heart. I might have handled that one differently because now they got to pay to untap it. I probably just would have cracked it naturally and waited on the Basalt Monolith, personally. There's a Strip Mine for us. Let's get the War Room into play. We'll play Erebos. Catching all of the non-basics now. And we might even be in for some card draw before we really get our commander going here. Bounce land for opponent. They appear to be stuck on red mana, is where they seem to be at. Taking a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up is Sean piloting Obund Moldiah Ancestor, one that I saw in Vegas, and a deck that he's played on the channel a few times. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX elemental creature with trample and haste until end of turn, where X is Obund's power. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This deck, he's a little stuck on mana right now, but this deck does have the ability to just put a lot of power and a lot of damage onto the board very quickly. It can get pretty aggressive, so you do have to watch out for that, and I think he runs Aggravated Assault in this deck. I can't remember if he runs the combo or not, but, you know, Aggravated Assault is a card that can beat you. So, yeah, watch out for that. In the middle, we've got 7 Deadly Sins piloting the Reaper King, who they are casting in this moment. And, yeah, Reaper King, we might just have to shoot that. Not particularly interested in having my stuff blown up. Reaper King, 5 colors, it's a 6/6. Other scarecrows get +1/+1. Whenever another scarecrow enters the battlefield under your control, destroy target permanent. Yeah, if you've never seen one of these, they can be very scary. Basically, they just start playing creatures next turn and blowing up everything on board. It can end a game really quickly because you'll have nothing left. So we'll probably try to shoot that if no one else does, though I was hoping to draw some cards. A thing that we could do is we could go Korlash and then free cast the Deadly Rollick. That's not the worst idea I've ever heard. And then I'd probably go no boots so that we can equip the sword next turn and go about things that way. Oh, you know what's interesting? Hearth and Home would allow us to get... No, would that work? No, I think Hearth and Home targets, so I don't think we'd be able to target our own commander if it has Lightning Greaves on it. I was thinking that we could use the Hearth and Home to actually get the boots off of our commander, but I don't think that's actually going to work because of the targeting. Runo Stromkirk into play. Yeah, I saw a little bit of this one the other day in the Ashling game that I played. Looks like a very interesting commander. Looks like it's very fun without being insanely overpowered as far as I've seen. It does want you to jump through some hoops, which I can always appreciate. I don't know, it just looks cool. We'll see what they've got going with it. They did get their Basalt Monolith untapped somewhere during that turn. And that brings it back to our turn. There's an Armillary Sphere. We'll need that eventually. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the Korlash play that we talked about. So play the Deserted Temple, cast Korlash, and I get it. We're going unprotected right here. There is a chance that it could get shot. It could happen. However, Hearth and Home is so good that I think it's worth the risk. Dryad of the Elysian Grove for Sean. That'll get him the red mana that he's missing right now. Oh, it's lands you control are every basic land type. Does not affect our lands. I was hoping we'd have all swamps, but nope, we're going to have to deal with that on our own. We're going to cast the Deadly Rollick without paying its mana cost. Shoot the Reaper King. No interest in what that's got going on. Probably going to have to switch out Lightning Greaves for Swiftfoot Boots later after the game because, yeah. Lightning Greaves, super awkward. Super awkward for this deck. I generally don't run Lightning Greaves in my Voltron decks. There are certain instances where you can, particularly if you still have a pretty good number of creatures in the deck. As a lot of my Voltron decks have been drifting lower and lower on creature count, Lightning Greaves is a pretty awkward card when that's the case, so Swiftfoot Boots all the way, but man, free equip is so good. It is, the difference between Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots is sizable. The difference between 0 and 1 is massive, but yeah, you gotta go Hexproof instead of Shroud, because Shroud is a problem for your equipment. That's a Casualties of War. I'm sure this is going to be terrible. Lightning Greaves, Korlash, a land. Wow, we're getting 3 permanents. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, yeah. Back to the command zone. Losing the land really bothers me. Doing everything to try to make all of our land drops here. Would love to catch a Walking Atlas off the top, because it'd be really good with the Armillary Sphere. Get us caught back up. Sure, Sean's not happy about losing his red mana right there. That's a Runescarred Demon. That is a very fast Runescarred Demon. Well, I guess it's turn 6. Burnish Heart. Burnish Heart will do that for you. Luckily, this doesn't care about... Oh, I know what they can do. They can go get Rune Stalactite and turn this thing into one of the creature types that matters. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be spicy. Maskwood Nexus will also do the same thing. Yep. Ooh, who's playing that? Someone's going to Force of Vigor that Maskwood Nexus and the Basalt Monolith. Fortunately, none of our stuff. That was cast by Sean. Yeah, okay. Love it. He exiled a Zakama. Okay, yeah. He's a ways away from that Zakama. And he's going to get attacked for 3. Yeah, that's a nice play right there because that's a lot of value. Basically, he would get 2 more Runescarred Demons and then get to search 2 more times, and that's crazy good. There's a Mana Crypt that's actually really helpful right here. So let's get a land into play. Let's get Mana Crypt into play. That puts us on 7 mana, which is sort of an awkward amount because of Korlash costing 6. But let's see. If we go Korlash this turn, we go Hearth and Home next turn, or do we just value this turn? Let's value this turn. We need to pick what turn we want to value and pick what turn we're going to get our commander and do all that stuff. Let's get Hearth and Home into play. We will draw a card with Erebos. Probably looking for non-land right here just because we have Armillary Sphere in play. It's a swamp. Well, what can you do? That being the case, that means we don't have to crack the Armillary Sphere right away. Lotus Cobra. Another way for him to actually get some red mana going. If he can make a land drop right here, then should be able to get his commander. He does not have a land drop. Continuing on our opponents, our final opponent is DJ Wars piloting Runo Stromkark. It's a 3-mana 1/4 on the front side. When it enters the battlefield, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If it's a creature with mana value 6 or greater, transform Runo Stromkark. On the backside, it's a 3/5 with flying. When it attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. If that creature is a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, create 2 of them instead. Now, they're still going to make a copy of this, and that's still pretty good. Opponent to get a Soul Herder into play. Oh, yeah, that seems really good for that deck. But I don't think we're the threat right now, so... if they recast their commander, I'm going to let that go for a little while, because I don't think our stuff's on the chopping block. There's a Serpent of Yawning Depths. Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents can't be blocked except by those creatures I just mentioned. Basically, your sea creatures have to have a sea creature battle. Yeah, here comes the attack. Opponent's splitting it up a little bit, but there's going to be another copy of Runescarred Demon. Pray it's not a counterspell. Although I imagine they probably have to go for card draw at some point, or I wonder if they get the another one of the synergy pieces. Rune Stalactite. I think there's a sword. Is it Amorphous Axe that does it? And when I said sword, I mean axe. A board wipe would not be terrible. Opponent gets a card. Oh, those are both going into Sean. I don't think he's going to like that very much. The copy is going into 7 Deadly. It's going to be a shot for 9 to Sean. 28 and 30. Yeah. Better find some removal. There's a Mana Crypt. Let's go, Tails. Lost the flip. Luxodon Warhammer. That means cast our commander, is what that means. Get that into play. Cast Korlash. Oh, does Reaper King do the destroying? I think it does, so I think if we have pro-white, I don't think I can die, so we'll equip the sword right here. It's going to be a 6/6 once the sword equips. Miri Weatherlight Duelist, yeah. Can hopefully slow down some of those attacks. Not catching lands over there for Sean. I'm sure he wishes he was, because Lotus Cobra. On the other hand, I think a board wipe's going to have to happen here pretty soon, so... it depends. I guess if the Reaper King starts blowing stuff up, then maybe not. Reaper King coming in. Yep. Do they have a 1-mana Changeling or Scarecrow? They do. What do they want to... Oh, God, they can shoot 2 things. Opponent's going to Rapid Hybridize the Reaper King and not deal with that. Yep. That's what you can do when you keep making copies of Runescarred Demon. Everyone's hurting a little bit this game. 3 of us been eating some removal, and Sean's stuck on lands. I guess the blue-black player isn't hurting that much, but probably put a hurting on him on our turn. Planning to swing in with this Luxodon Warhammer. Mesmerizing Benthid. Enters the battlefield, create 2/02 blue illusions. Whenever this creature blocks, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Don't love it. Don't love it. That being the case, you probably blink Korlash, because that'll remove that trigger from it. Opponent's still spreading the damage around a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we take the bigger one. Sean's way. Yep, make another copy. Oh, God, he can get Aetherized. He's got 4 mana up. Although, maybe he's going for another synergy piece. Yep, there's another Runescarred Demon. A Toxic Deluge would be really good. Any of the -X, because Korlash can theoretically survive a lot of the -/ board wipes. Yeah, we can't block. 16, 19, we're still at 29. Yeah, opponent's getting down there. Someone's got to have removal, and you might need 2, because they keep tutoring. Buried Alive. That's good, actually, because now they've only got a single mana up. Makes me feel a lot better about things. Does mean that if this gets blown up and they recast it, they'll be able to get some creatures back, though. It's not necessarily the best. Nezelhal, Gyruda, and Wonder. Wonder's kind of nasty. A lot of evasion on those creatures. Let's go Tails. Lost the flip. Sword of Vengeance is a card. Let's crack the Armillary Sphere. Get 2 swamps. Play a swamp. Play the Luxodon Warhammer. Equip the Luxodon Warhammer. Good combat. Swing into the blue-black opponent. Yeah, he's going to block with the wall thing. That'll cause it to not untap, but we'll just blink it. Which reminds me, we should probably change this. Hand, not command zone instead of library. Okay. I guess you don't have to change exile anymore. We trample over for 8. Kills the thing. Hearth and Home, blink our commander, hope it doesn't go to the command zone. Get a swamp, and it comes back to play. Soul Herder gets a counter on it because the thing got exiled. It's fun. Question here is, do we draw a card, or do we re-equip our sword? I don't think we're the threat, so we'll sit on the regenerate and the draw a card, I think. Because, a board wipe really needs to happen right here. We're back to 36 after the lifelink, which is nice. Opponent's starting to really get a big board state, though. A Cabal Coffers off the top would probably be helpful. We do need extra mana in this moment. Sean appears to be stuck. They just tap it. Wow, they just tap out and pass. That's not what we wanted to see. They have literal nothing. It's not good. It's not good. At least hold the mana up. Make them think about something. Soul Herder on the Changeling. Opponent going on the big attack. I didn't see exactly who's attacking where. Someone may go down here. There's another Runescar Demon. Counterspell would be super, super bad. Any blue interaction is bad news for us. And with the board state they have, like, they don't have to tap any mana to do anything, right? They just need to, like, protect themselves until next turn, and they probably win the game. That is unfortunate. Oh god, if it's Rift, we just lose. Both opponents going down. We're the only ones left. Fantastic. Gotta handle this by ourselves. Ugh. Yeah, apparently this commander can spiral pretty quickly. Victimize, returning Gyruda and Nezelhal. Notably tapping themselves down to 6, so it's not a Cyclonic Rift. Gyruda trigger. Toxic Deluge was our top card. Oh my god, that's frustrating. Wow. Wow. There's 4 or 5 board wipes in the deck. Persist on Burnished Heart. Funny story, other than the Burnished Heart, they are actually tapped out. Go to the end step. Draw a card. Promise of Power, not exactly what we were looking for. Let's go, Tails. Lost the flip. Rite of Consumption, on the other hand, is something that might be really helpful right here. Play Swamp. It is a sorcery, though. Problem is, if we spend all of our mana re-equipping these swords, it's not going to be good. They're at 8. It's 14 after the blocking. 16, 19. That would get us over the line. The question is whether they have anything or not. Unfortunately, it's 8 mana to activate this thing. It's 9, 10, 11. We have 11 total mana. Would take us 5 to get this and this equipped. And if we did that, we won't have enough to activate the Vorpal Sword ability. Let's see how many board wipes are in the deck. We just lost Toxic Deluge. Sudden Spoiling buys us a turn. Deadly Frolic is down. Baleful Mastery is a card, probably doesn't save us. Mutilate is in the deck. So that's 2 really impactful cards. 3 in Garrick's Wake. 4 in the Meathook Massacre. I say we draw a card. It's a swamp. I mean, that being the case, just suit everything up then. Equip this, and send it. I think he's F6'd. Goes to 22 Commander! I can't believe that worked. Oh my god, he had no interaction. Wow, that's scary. Didn't think that was actually going to work. Totally thought we were going to run into a blue removal spell of some kind. He had a Slaughter Pact and a Muldrifter. Nice. Yep, Slaughter Pact, not going to help you here. Well, that was interesting. That's the beauty of Voltron decks. You can just make, like, really surgical attacks. Like, you know, opponents got value for days over here, bodies everywhere. But, yeah, with the Voltron deck, you're just like, all right, I need you to die right now. That's kind of their strength. As far as the deck, it is pretty rough after Korlash gets shot. That I did notice. So, like, if it just stayed in play, we didn't get hit with that Casualties of War. I mean, also the Casualties of War just makes it, like, not a picnic afterwards, because we lost the land, and, you know, this deck is all about the land drops. Plus, it just hurts, right? That stuff puts you behind. Yeah, that was not great for us. And yeah, this is a pretty awkward commander if it does get shot. Definitely more at home in Ages Past of Commander, where games would routinely go more than 10 turns. You really want those turns to be able to just keep getting lands into play and let Korlash get huge on its own. The other thing, too, is, like, no free equips. No free equips are a little bit rough. Having to spend all of that mana to equip stuff is not a great time. Also, no extra combats in mono black. So if you really want, like, a top-end Voltron deck, you know, you probably want either red or white or both. Those colors have the skills that are really good at dealing with equipment, where mono black doesn't have it in the same way. Now, if we were able to get Cabal Coffers at some point, and especially with Urborg, then that takes care of the mana situation and can act like a pseudo free equip just because you're making so much mana it doesn't matter. So that can definitely be a thing. So there are ways to handle some of those shortcomings with mono black, just because mono black has an absurd number of tools. So there are ways to work around the fact that, like, you don't have specifically good equipment synergies, but still, it's gonna be a little bit slower, right? Like, if we had to kill the other 2 players, for the most part, you can only kill 1 player at a time with this deck, and In today's day and age, that's a little bit out of fashion. That can be a little bit slow, especially given the clock. Like, it's not like you're doing it on turn 6, because if you're doing that on like turn 6, 7, 8, that's fine. With this deck, it's going to be a little slower than that most of the time. So, but anyway, I'm glad we got to play it. It's one that I've been wanting to play for a while. Didn't get to use some of the fun cards I was hoping on. I love Tendrils of Corruption. Haven't played it in years, but is one that I miss playing. Was really hoping to get to do more with the Vorpal Sword. It did get us the amount of damage that we needed, which was awesome. But I did kind of want to use that activated ability. Again, that's where we needed Cabal Coffers and just never saw an Expedition map or a tutor of any kind. So, you know, those things matter. Have Varagoth in the deck, and that's another one that I've been wanting to use a little bit. Looks like it's pretty cool. And Mask of Grizzlebrand. I don't know why, but Black seems to be getting all of the really cool equipment the past year or so, and like, Black is not known as the equipment color. It's a little bit disappointing because the 1 or 2 white equipments they put out have been pretty bad, to be completely honest with you. That last Double Strike Sword is fine, but it's not all that exciting. I don't know why. Mask of Grizzlebrand, just exciting. It's a cool card. So, yeah, hopefully they'll start making some better mono-white equipment again, because it seems like Black's getting all the toys in that department. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you're just looking to get a game in on Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.